gosh. I'm honestly sick of seeing the sign, and it's everywhere. Now, I'm not gonna lie, maybe a year ago, when it comes to AEW, I will really agree. Because AEW wasn't out that long for its first year. They were there, at the time, like the 6-month mark. You can probably say, oh yeah, they're not doing much for the women's division. But the second year, or towards the end of the first year, I've started to notice like a lot of issues with chemistry. Every woman that goes to AEW, they have been in the indies for a long time. They're not newbies. They're not homegrown talent. In other words, they're not like fresh from off the street. They have been in the indies for a while. They've honed their craft. They know their character. And they're pretty much vets, in my opinion, in their craft. So when it comes to the women's division and it keeps saying booking it better, that's part of the issue, but not the full issue. I've said in every video, well, most of the videos I have done on AEW, especially when it came to the women's division, they have issues, terrible problems with chemistry. It just doesn't work. Their matches are either subpar, average, or just flat out bad. There's only been a handful of matches from a few people that actually put on a really good match. I mean, Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa, that lights out match that they actually did, that unsanctioned match that they did, that was probably one of the best matches they've ever done. But you don't really see it that often. You don't see a lot of good matches. And I know a lot of people hate that term, good matches, but I'm going to say it anyway. You're not going to see a lot of these women matches being like 4 stars or 5. They're going to be at least 3 or lower. And that's sad when they've been there for 3 years and they're still producing the same garbage. Now they're saying, well, you're not giving them a chance. The thing is, when you're a professional, you gotta be professional. No matter how much you don't like a person, no matter how much you can't stand being around them, you gotta be a professional. You gotta make it look good, not just for the company you work for, but also for your own career. You gotta put that aside, and you actually gotta put on a good match that people will remember. There's not really a lot of matches in AEW's women's division that you can remember. And it's not because they're not aired. It's just because nobody really cares to see it. AEW, they're a company that makes money after all. Do you have anybody that really wants to see Britt Baker all the time? Do you have somebody that wants to see Thunder Rosa all the time? I mean, do you have anyone that... I would probably argue that Jade Cargill is maybe the only person that people want to see the most. And even though Jade Cargill doesn't have... I mean, let's be honest. She's gotten better over the years when it came to her wrestling skills. She was trained by Bryan Danielson. She was trained by countless other vets, and she's improved over the years. Do I think that they actually put the belt on her too early? Yeah, I think they have. She wasn't championship material yet, but she had the personality to pull it off. But she actually did her best in every match she was in. Even though it was subpar, she was getting better each time, and you noticed that she was trying. And you noticed that the person that she was with occasionally was trying. Ember Moon and Jade Cargill, you can kind of tell there was clashing there, especially on Ember's part. And with some of the matches that I have seen lately, especially Thunder Rosa versus Ivelisse, that was ridiculous. That was ridiculous and unprofessional. The fact that you had a bunch of no-selling going on, you had nobody knowing their cue, it was sloppy and very, very bad. So, look, just because WWE has women on every day, they have them on there for a reason, because they're a draw. There are multiple women in the WWE that you can probably say is a draw. You can't say that much about AEW. And I know they've been there for like 3 years, but I'm sorry. There's not many people you can call a draw. And people are like, well, what about when Sheeta won against Toni Storm? They did that, and this is an analogy that I always use. In my humble opinion, that match was the equivalent of a boyfriend or a girlfriend giving an engagement ring to their significant other to shut them up. I'm putting it that way. It was just a gift to give to the crowd to shut them up. That's all that it was. People say it's damage control. I don't think it was damage control. I think it was just to appease the crowd, to appease those cheap dates out there, and just shut them up. That's kind of what it was. It had no significance. It had no build. It didn't matter. It mattered to the people in it, but to be honest with you, it didn't matter that much because it had no build whatsoever. But they did that to shut the crowd up. That's all they did. But in my humble opinion, book the women's division better. I can probably name another company that people claim that they're being booked very well, but not really so much. Now, when it comes to WrestleMania last year, people keep forgetting, none of the women's matches were promoted. None of them. That's why they had to put on matches that people remember, because their own company wasn't pushing them. So they had to push themselves. In my humble opinion, that's worse. That's way worse. When you have a company that you work hard for and they literally forget about you. And in AEW's case, the women are getting in their own way. I think they're pretty much the primary cause. Not just the company, but I think that they're the primary cause. They're getting in their own way. Too many politics. Too much the incapability of actually working together. The lack of chemistry in every match. That's getting in their way. That's messing with their money, in my opinion. That's just my opinion as an onlooker looking at the product. As an actual observer of the product, that's what I get out of it. For WWE, you can tell, even if those women don't like each other, they know, hey, we got to make money. And they got to do it. It is bad enough. And as of right now, today is supposed to be the day of SummerSlam. It hasn't happened yet. But unfortunately, Rhea Ripley, after winning that title from Charlotte Flair, has not got a decent opponent since she won it. She has gotten a lot of mediocre to subpar to ridiculous opponents going towards her for this title. And yeah, y'all know who I'm talking about. She doesn't have anybody on the card to face, which is sad. You got Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler on the card when this is something that could be shown on SmackDown or Raw. You have them on the card when it should be about the championship matches. That's just me. You can probably have a few standalones on there, a few standalones that actually can bring in money, a few standalones that are draws. But you have nobody for Rhea to face. No one. Come on. Come on. That belt is starting to lose its relevancy as days go on. Rhea is definitely the person getting herself over, but that belt is losing its meaning. It's losing its meaning, it's losing its relevancy by the day. You want to give it some meaning, and they haven't done that. So when it comes to booking the division better, you got to book people better. You got to book your wrestlers better in that case. I don't really agree to that side at all when it comes to AEW, but if you change it to booking your wrestlers better, I will agree in some aspects. But honestly, the best division going around, the best division in my humble opinion that actually does do something with their women is Impact. Not just during the TNA days, but Impact in general. You can look at the quality of the matches and tell that they actually are doing something with their women. I can't say the same about WWE always, and I definitely can't say the same thing about AEW because AEW is getting in their own way. The women's division there is getting in their own way. And as for WWE, yeah, you gotta look for that bottom line because they're a publicly traded company. So they gotta look for who those draws are, and sometimes they miss the mark. But other than that, this sign, in my opinion, is a bit overrated. Because you gotta look a little bit deeper into why they're not booked properly. It's not because of the fact, oh, we don't like them, so they're not gonna be there. Yeah, there are moments where there is pettiness like that going around. I will be an idiot to say that it doesn't happen. But in this case, for AEW, I have to disagree. The women are getting in their own way. The egos getting in their own way. Politics is getting in their own way. They're getting in their own way. And that's just from an onlooker looking in. Anyway, guys, that is it for me. I want to hear your thoughts about this. Leave it in the comments below and let me know how you feel about this sign, if you agree or if you disagree. If you like what I do and like what I'm saying, by all means, hit that like button as well as subscribe to my channel and share this with all of your friends. But again, I really am curious to hear what you guys think about this. Leave in the comments below. Let me know how you feel, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out.